Hi. Are we gonna
Hi.
are we gonna talk about some Zentangle stuff?
Oh yeah, let's.
Okay. I'm curious to know that I know that you sometimes do Zentangle on your own and you sometimes like to do it in groups. So I'm curious to know what orients you to do it on your own and what orients you to go and find a group to do it with.
So, on my own, I do it on my own when I'm on my own. So if I'm at home alone, I'll do it. If I am going into town for a long day of doing errands, I'll still bring it with me and I'll stop and take a moment and do a little tangle while I wait for an appointment. Um, that's what I love about it is the portability of it. And when I'm working with groups, it depends on the group. So there are a couple of sessions I do online that I really am choosy. Like it has to be Zentangle based, and it has to be something that I'm going to learn. And what I love about it is I learn something new every single time. Um, In-person groups, you lose somewhat um, the ability to explore because they're on a schedule. And some things I've learned that I really like working with pen and paper as opposed to on other mediums, which is fine.
So when you said like portability, some of the Zentangle workshops you probably had kind of was pen and paper, but some other stuff too, because Zentangle art you can apply to different things. But when you said portability, what do you mean by portability? How do you make it portable? How do you make your stuff portable?
Well, I'm a camper, as you know, and a canoeer. So it has to be able to fit it has to be small and light enough to travel and that's the ultimate, in my camping and canoeing gear, in a Ziploc bag, a sandwich size Ziploc bag. So I do have, the little Zentangle bags that we got that were like 5x6.
Yeah.
So I have, I would put maybe 2 or 3 pieces in there for a trip. Because, and then in that bag, we'll have maybe 2 pens, a pencil, a couple of different graphite colored pencils, a blue, a white, and a black, and my tortillon or shader, and a sharpener.
Okay, so now
And
now you've packed the stuff and you do it, and then you make the stuff. What do you do with the stuff when you actually have the stuff all made?
that's the Zentangle question, isn't it? um, um, for me, I don't work very quickly, so it takes me a long time to get a finished product. I am making a small album of my work to show and present when I am asked to stand and talk about Zentangle. And sometimes I give them away as gifts, as a card. And I have it so, when you buy the gift cards and you could put them in a card with the little slits, I
Yes.
sometimes give them like that so they can choose whether or not they want to frame it, display it, or file it. um, yeah, but it is a hard question to answer on what do you do with your finished products. It's difficult.
Yeah, because you end up having a pile of stuff, but thinking about in different ways, a book to go back to and reflect on,
Right.
something to give away to somebody, something to share with somebody. It ends up that, yeah, you've got some pieces around, but sometimes you don't mind having a few pieces around just because they're nice to look at.
One person I saw had a board. It was sort of like a cork board, and she would change it up, and she had like 9 pieces on it, and sometimes less if the pieces were bigger, and just changed it up. Um,
So she could enjoy her own Zentangle art.
right, right, in her own way, at her own time, in different ways. So at Christmas time, she'd put up her Christmas tangles.
So I'm wondering if you had to say to somebody, I know we've both been at Zentangle for a while now, and I was only at it a short amount before I dragged you in with me. If if you had to say what's the benefit, like why do you keep doing Zentangle?
Um, because it's the art I always wanted to do. My family was our artists, and everybody could do representational art. And I thought that's what art was. And no matter how hard I try, I couldn't do it. If you saw some of the pieces that I tried to draw, you'd laugh. But when you introduced me to Zentangle, I realized, you know what? I'm a Zentangle artist. That's my thing.
That's our thing. It's something we share together, and it's always lovely sharing a common hobby that not
Right.
only I think produces something that is beautiful, but in the process gives you a really nice kind of relaxing feeling while you do it.
And it's so relaxing. This summer in May, my husband and I, we went to Europe. And I remember sitting by the pool at the hotel and just drawing. And literally, Fabio had to say to me, "Are we going to go eat?" And I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, "But I'm not done yet." And he says, "Yeah, you know how long you can." And it's true. When I work on a piece, I have to learn to put it away, because if I keep working at it, I'll get frustrated in the sense that I keep trying to fill it. And it's like, no, you take your time, go back to it later. And sometimes I'll work on another piece before I finish one other piece. And then when I go back to it, I'm like, ooh, I think I know how I want to shade that now. And so when I travel, like I said, I bring 3 or 4 cards with me and I rotate them as to which one I'm going to work on. At first I thought I'd have them themed by country, but no, it didn't work that way. It was just basically, which one you want to work on today? And I went from there, and it was great. It was a great way to just chill on days where it was too busy or too hot, or you couldn't move, or just gave me something alternate to do. And of course, when people come by and see what you're doing, they're just blown away by it.
And you're just like, well, you can do this too. Anybody can
Yep.
do this.
Yeah, if I spoke their language, I would have given them a lesson.
The good thing about Zentangle, it is international language. It's visual language. So
It is.
anybody can do it for sure.
I didn't
I
know how to
just,
start the conversation with, "Do you want to try?" Maybe there's a line I should learn in every language.
well, I love sharing my Zentangle journey with you for sure.
It's been great.